Alright, let's just observe this thing running. As we can see, it fills up the battery pretty quick. No! Why? Why do you do me like this? Ah. When you are dealing with these kinds of temperatures, it pays to be cautious. Hello there, I'm the base manager and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Now, today we have 50 cycles to get a few projects going. Last episode we got this natural gas geyser contained. We got our ranches operational, even though the Draco ranch is still not functioning, but it's built. So I would say that it would be amazing if on this episode we could get our power going and our Dracos going. Reason for that is we are, let's just say, riding the knife's edge. We are producing just barely enough power to keep up with the demand, and well, let's just say that this thing is no longer operational because we don't have enough hydrogen for it. There is a lot of demand, but in any case, once we got this thing operational, all the power problems will go away. Unfortunately for us, it's going to take 30 cycles for this thing to be online, but that's fine. I'm pretty sure we are not going to be able to build everything in 30 cycles, so not a major concern. Okay, so let's think about this for a little bit. Right, we need to capture a couple of Dracos. We have one right... I thought I had two over here. Oh, yeah, there is one right there, and a few of them also spread across the world. Yeah, there is another one over there. We need to capture one Draco, and then we need to feed it millwood in order to turn it from a regular Draco into a glossy Draco. However, before we do that, we have this thingy in the way, preventing us from planting anything, which is a canister emptier. Let's enable the auto-bottling. Let's make sure that we have a little bit of hydrogen in storage. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, there is a little bit. So the dupes should start coming over here, taking the canister, the hydrogen, coming over here and dump it into this area. We just need a little bit on the top for the Dracos to renew their scales. Other than that, it's perfectly fine. Now, one thing must be said, we are kind of running low on space, my friends. Yeah, look at this. 1,000 degrees, well, 1,400 degrees abyssalite, which means over here we have magma. More likely than not, at least. Yeah. Kinda complicated. This kinda complicates things a little bit, because, well, I was expecting having a little bit more space to put my power plant over here, but that's fine, we can have storage over here and then power plant over here. These will work well, because we're going to have our industrial area over here, so we should have our cooling loops somewhere in this area, which means we can pipe them all the way over there without a lot of issues. But we'll see in time. First, let's set up some gas collection thingies, retrieval pods, not retrieval pods, Jesus, gas reservoirs. Yeah, let's set up a few of these, make sure that we have plenty of space to gather all of that gas, and then we'll see what we can do. Like, this might look like a lot of storage, but trust me, it is not. If there is anything that we learned from last season, is that you never have enough natural gas. Now, a deviation from last season is I'm not going to do the big-ass 20 kilogram per square storage of gas. That is very terrible for performance, and once you build it, there is no turning back. You either live with it, or you get a bunch of methane gas in your map, and I kinda want to avoid that. So, this time we are going to go for gas reservoirs, which is less efficient space-wise, but my computer will thank me for not for not killing it with a bunch of pressurized natural gas. Yeah, like it's a good idea on paper. It allows you to store a bunch of natural gas in a tiny little space. Unfortunately, it is very performance intensive. When it comes to storage, for now, I think this is going to be sufficient. I don't want to say enough because it's never enough. But we have 20 gas reservoirs. Each can store up to 150 kilograms, which means we have roughly 3 tons of storage. That might sound like a lot, but trust me, it is not. Just think about it this way, right? You need all of this space for 3 tons of natural gas, right? If you go and you store at a ratio of 20 kilograms per tile like we did last season, in here we have 66 tiles. Just this little space, it can roughly like 20 times roughly 1.2 tons in this tiny little space, roughly. Okay, my math and I, we are not friends. So 1.2, 2.4, 4.8, 6 tons in space. Okay, alone in here we could put 6 tons plus the space that these tiles occupy and whatnot. Like I said, math not my friend, but ballpark, yeah, storing it in a pressurized form is far more efficient space-wise. But like I said, performance doesn't like it, and we all know how late game O.N.I behaves, so we have to take these small considerations when we are doing things so that we don't crawl to a halt in a few cycles and well, we take like 10 hours to go through 50 cycles. So yeah, this storage will be good enough for now. Now, storage isn't the only concern that we have. We also need to clean house. We have a bunch of yuckiness laying around in form of polluted water. This polluted water is creating a bunch of polluted oxygen, which is, well, not exactly helping out our situation, right? Right. So, we are gonna build a junk line that is going to take the junk water all the way over here. And my dupes already built it. I just blazed. Wow, dupes, you are fantastic. I love you. God. And we are going to put another one over here. So that we can also take this water, so that we can mine all of this area out and put a few thingies of natural gas power, which are called natural gas generators. Obviously, base manager, obviously. Alright, these dupes, they are fan-freaking-tastic, my friends. I turned my eyes for like 1 second and they got this built. So, technically speaking, we are done. We could start collecting natural gas right now. The reason why I'm not going to do that just yet, it's because, like I said, where are you, the next activity is in 20 cycles. And although this looks like a lot of gas, and it is a substantial amount, as you can see we have roughly 5 kilos, it's 4 point whatever, like, yeah, let's simplify things. We have 5 kilos over 77 tiles, that's like 5 times 7, that's 450. We have roughly 500 kilograms of gas over here. 500 kilograms is, yeah, we can't fill up 4 reservoirs. So as you can see, that's not a lot. Yeah, that's not a lot. So whenever this thing gets close to like 5 cycles, we kickstart this. After all, everything is ready. We just need to go over here and connect this, and is ready to go. And we can start collecting it. But because our power situation is not the best right now, let's avoid doing unnecessary actions, at least for the time being. At this point we need to manage our thingies, and because we have connected a bunch of liquid pumps and a few other things, there is no point in wasting, even if it is just a little bit of power, we are not going to be using it, we are not going to gain anything from it right now, so there is no point in turning it on just yet. Nothing put a smile in my face like a snazzy suit, fresh out of the printing pod. I just love these things. Yeah, good luck in selecting the thingy. Once I'm able to get the snazzy suit, I can't remember. I believe it was Abe who came in next. I know that number 4 was Ren. That much I remember. So, Abe, you probably were number 3. If you were not, I'm sorry to whoever it was, but my memory... it's not the best. Okay, so now, moving on to other things. Yeah, this thing is already filled up with hydrogen. Yeah, let's not bring any more. There is no point. There is no point. You still have a little bit of hydrogen in there, but for now we can disconnect this so that we don't waste any more. And time to capture Draco. Now, when it... Oh, yeah, we have an egg. That's nice, because I was analyzing the Dracos before, that's why I was distracted. Because we need to capture a Draco capable of getting an egg. And if your Draco is too old, it's just a waste of time. So yeah, I was thinking about capturing this one because it's 66 years, or in this case days, so it would probably be for the best, but hey, we have an egg right there, so how about we go grab it. Now, unfortunately for us, over here is a tad bit too toasty. It's just on the edge of what we need. These things only grow up to 30 degrees, and it's 30.1 degrees, obviously. Given that we only need such a low amount of heat deletion, instead of doing something complicated like I was first thinking about, I'm just going to use word seeds, because my first initial thought was to use this code over here. All we need to do is create a small loop. We could put, I don't know, whatever we wanted inside, polluted water or whatever, doesn't really matter. The water would come over here, would chill out, then would come down and heat up, and in a way transferring heat from this chamber over here. But that's not going to be necessary if we get ourselves a few wizards, which we have one right there, and that... Wait, what? That's it? Really? Wow, okay, that's bad. We need those. We need those for material research. And yet we only have one. Oh, that's... okay, disconcerting, I should say. I kind of was... I was trying to avoid coming and getting this wizard because of this mutation species. I didn't want to destroy it. Life could be so simple, but no, I had to complicate things, obviously. Obviously, I had to complicate things. I have to do things this way, otherwise this polluted water, this ice and polluted ice is just going to melt and create a mess, so we have to approach this from the top, so that if the water melts, it stays in here. And yeah, I had to complicate things because my actual name is Base Complicated Manager, so... okay, let's see what I can come up with that is relatively simple and not exactly a major pain in the butt to manage, because if we just let something roll over time, we are going to freeze this area, and we don't want that. We just want to transfer a little bit of heat from this area into this one. I could make it simple, but what would be the fun in that? Well, the fun would be that I could focus on other things. But given our current situation with the wizards, this is the necessity. So pretty much we are going to put a few liquid pipes going over here. We are not going to use the radiant pipes because over here the temperature is extremely low. We're just going to use regular pipes, just a little bit over here, so that nothing gets frozen. That would be terrible. And pretty much the water goes in, gets frozen, gets chilled out, comes in, gets inside of a liquid reservoir. In front of the liquid reservoir we have a liquid shutoff. It's going to be controlled by a thermosensor and a buffer and a thingy. What's it called? Buffer plus filter. Yeah, these things are pretty much just going to let the system open for like 30 seconds or something like that. That should be more than enough to chill out the remaining the area itself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's going to use a little bit of power for the liquid shut off, but it's like 10 watts. It's like ridiculously low. It's not even worth mentioning. Other than that, it's pretty like power free, I suppose. I don't think we are going to use all the chill that exists in this area, so I don't think we have to worry. And there we go, our tiny radiator is built. I built it out of granite, because granite has a higher conductivity than igneous rock, even though it's not like a major difference. Now it's time to fill up the loop. I'm just going to bring enough water to fill up the pipes and have like a tiny little bit extra in the liquid reservoir. But I don't want to have a lot of water in here, because then every time a puff of water gets into the liquid reservoir, it must even out with the water inside, which means it's harder to drop the temperature of the water. So with that in mind, let's request polluted water. Okay, I think that 2 deliveries of 200 kilograms probably is going to be more than enough. So let's go over here, let's set up this thing, green signal, when above, let's say 25 degrees. Yes, please. Then the filter is going to be 5 seconds, and the buffer is going to be 25 seconds. There we go. The filter is just so that in case of this thing being close to the limit and it starts flickering, it doesn't activate the system by accident, right? Yeah. Not even... okay. I was mistaken. That's not even near enough. That's fine, that's fine. I have a contingency plan. You probably can see what it is already. But here it goes. We're just going to fill up from here. This is going to be the last delivery. We are going to disable the auto-bottling. We're going to reduce the priority, and then we are going to deconstruct this. Okay, so the loop is filled up. We have 90 kilograms of additional water inside. That's more than enough. Let's go. And then continue doing your thing. Doing the cleanup. Oh, damn it, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Problem solved. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. The water is going up at 30 degrees and coming... okay. Interesting. I don't know. It's coming down at a reasonable 20-something degrees. For some reason, this thing is not being as efficient as I first imagined, but at the same time I don't want to freeze water in pipe. When you are dealing with these kinds of temperatures, it pays to be cautious. Besides, we only need to delete a little bit of transfer a little bit of heat. Eventually, this thing is going to be fine. We can already see a difference over here. Oh, I know what's going on. Yeah, I made these things out of regular pipes. This area, it's relatively hot, so it's also affecting the temperature of the water. But that's fine. That's perfectly fine. So, this issue is now being actively dealt with. As we can see, it's starting to have an effect. Some plants will eventually start growing. Cool. It's going to take a while, but it's going to be fixed in... eventually, we don't need to look at it anymore. Now, I'm going to start deconstructing all of this. We still need to drain the swamp over here, but this is going to take a little while to transfer all of this water upstairs. So, while we wait, how about we start doing a bunch of digging? I think that's a reasonable idea. Let's dig, because we are going to need all of this space. After all, we cannot make things quote-unquote taller over here because there is a bunch of magma waiting for us. However, this might... oh, hello. This might work in our favor, right? We are going to build our natural gas power plant somewhere around here. However, because we have magma so close by, eventually we might build a geothermal power plant also over here. That way we can kind of centralize all of that in a single location. So it's not that bad, you know, because, you know, we can actually do something with it. It was... however, unexpected. Yeah, this map is not that big, so to think that I already have pretty much occupied over 50% of the space available, it's mind-boggling to me. I don't know why, but there is something very satisfying about deleting entire biomes in one go. Just look at all the space that we are getting in just a few cycles. These dupes are fantastic, especially Gossman. She was a talented rocket pilot, but I have to say, I think she's a better miner overall. Hello, where did you came from? Hey, no, no, enough of that. We already have plenty of polluted oxygen going around. We don't... We... We don't need you. Yeah, kill it, please. Alright, my friends, so we have to wait a little bit longer on that biome deletion process, but while I was waiting, I was taking a look at this Draco over here to see the progress on that glossy Draco egg. And we can already see the results of the mealwood in action. So pretty much, as I said before, you need mealwood to get that chance going up, and every time the Draco eats one piece of mealwood, it increases by 1%, at least as far as I can see. Sometimes it might go up 2%, but every time I saw it ate anything, it was just 1%. But because it likes to eat quite often, that chance is just going to go up, up, and up. And if it... Oh, my lord, for a moment I already had a heart attack. You might not believe me, my friends, but this is the third time that I am recording this specific line where I'm talking about the freaking Draco, because the game keeps interrupting me with just random stuff like this. But in any case, I think I made my point pretty clear. Wait, what? Oh! That's like, okay, whatever, not a problem, I don't care too much. So yeah, eventually we are going to get that glossy Draco egg, and then every single glossy Draco will have a 95 or 98% chance of dropping another egg, so we'll be good to go for the future. I think we got another snazzy suit out of this locker. Yes, we did. Oh boy, this is fantastic. So much snazziness. I usually only get the warm suits or the cold suits. I don't think I ever got a snazzy suit out of one of these things. Okay, so the environment has been deleted, and I'm already taking care of the septic tank that we are going to need for our power plant. Usually, natural gas generators and petroleum generators, they expel polluted water, usually really hot polluted water, so we need a place for that thing to fall onto. We are going to build the power plant on top of it, and then we need to ship that water eventually upstairs. This is going to provide more than enough storage for now. So how are we going to do this? Well, we want to take advantage of this thing. Where is it? I believe it is in utilities. Nope, stations. This thing, power control station. With it, you can create a power plant, and this thing gives you plus 50% extra generation to the affected thingies. All we need is for the dupe to go in there and build a ship, and then apply it to the generator itself. Beautiful. I'm loving the progress that we are making so far. Oh, nice, another printable. So we're pretty much going to mirror this one on this side, and then we can stack them on top of each other. I probably am going to extend the septic tank a little bit, but that's fine. We can do that whenever we want. However, we are within those 5 cycles of this getting active again. So how about we activate this, and we start draining all of the natural gas that we have inside of this chamber. Unfortunately, we are extremely pressurized over here, which means that if we catch any decent amount of polluted oxygen, we might run into some issues, but I'm going to keep my eye open. I also set up this one to be at 500 grams, so the polluted oxygen should not drop too much. We'll see. Okay, my friends, so right now it would be the ideal time to get some plastic. Unfortunately, yeah, that is not going to happen anytime soon. I don't think this one is going to reproduce. Maybe we get another egg out of this one, but the chances are still not in our favor. This little one over here, which I cannot select for some reason, will probably net us more luck, because it's going to be eating mealwood right from the beginning, and so once it gets into the reproductive age, is going to have a higher chance, but once we have that glossy Draco egg, we are going to cease Draclet incubation, and we are just going to switch immediately. Over here I want to fit as many as possible, because I'm pretty sure that their scales grow at the same rate, if they are gloom or not. And if it doesn't, if you just put a bunch of them, eventually you're going to compensate for that fact. So now, what would I need the plastic for? Well, if you watched the previous season, you know that I have a way of cleaning the map out of all of these nasty gases, and that is to pump a bunch of carbon dioxide into it and then popping it like a pimple over in here, sending all of these nasty gases into space. That's pretty much the easiest way of getting rid of all of this junk. Just use carbon dioxide because it's the heaviest of gases. It will drop down and push everything up. But for that we need the high pressure vent gases, or high pressure gas vents. But for that we need a tad bit of plastic. So our hands are kinda tied. What I can do is just put a temporary gas reservoir on top of the plants and use that for storage, and then release the carbon dioxide into the world. Oh well. I suppose I can wait a little bit longer. We still don't have active natural gas geyser, and we still don't have a bunch of fuel, so we still have a little bit of time. And with that time, I think I'm going to start steel production, even though that is going to be a major drain on our power. If we do it slowly, 10 work orders at a time, eventually we'll have enough to make a little bit of steel. We still don't have all that much lime, but we have more than enough to create the first cooling loops. So I think that is going to be fine. I want to create a cooling loop in this area. Probably I'm going to put it in this corner to cool off this entire side. We need to temperature control this thing and this thing over here. Yeah, because the farmhouse needs a cooling loop of its own, but we are still far away from the farmhouse, so we can have a cooling loop just for this side, another cooling loop for this side, and the third cooling loop for the industrial area. That's a lot of cooling loops, but we'll have enough power to run them, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's just getting the initial materials to set up that very first cooling loop, because this area is already toasty as it is. The second these natural gas generators start working, we are going to toastify this area very, very quickly. I'm trying to fit all of those things together, getting the cooling loop running, getting this thing operational, so that everything fits like a puzzle and we don't run into many issues. However, I have to kickstart this eventually, so I suppose we can absorb the heat into the environment for a little while, and then we use the cooling loop to delete said heat. Alright, my friends, so we are pretty much done over here. Everything is built, everything is connected. It's just waiting for us to connect the final pipes. I'm not going to turn it on just yet. I kind of want to wait a little bit more, because the second we turn it on, we are going to start generating a bunch of heat that we cannot delete. And these things, they are not like the coal generators. They go hot pretty quick. I kind of just want to see if I can get a glossy Draco going before I turn this on. The second I have a glossy Draco egg, I'll feel comfortable turning this thing on, because it's not going to be immediate, right? We are not going to die immediately, and I built this out of the wrong material. God damn it, I built this out of copper ore instead of gold. Well, I still have some time, so I suppose I'm going to just deconstruct them and replace them with the proper material. But yeah, it's not like we are going to toastify the map in like 3 cycles, but still, we are on a timetable once we get these things rolling, so I kind of just want to be sure that we'll be able to deal with the situation when the time comes. Well, my friends, last episode the theme from the printer was oxyfern seeds. This time we are getting the snazziness. Well, I mean, if you're going to keep it going like that, I'm not going to complain. I think Liam was the next one. I think it's Liam, then Ruby, and finally the other builder. I'm pretty sure. Well, if it is not, eventually we are going to have suits for everybody, so not exactly a problem. So, because I failed to see this small problem, a few changes had to be made to this thing, and now it looks uglier than ever. But at least now we have 3 additional millwood thingies ready to roll. It's just unfortunate that our original design could not, like, pass the inspection, but at the same time we now end up with a few extra millwood thingies, so in the end it's not that bad. Alright, my friends, so given our current power situation, I kinda want to run the forge a little bit more, because every time we turn on the forge is just a massive drain on our electrical system. It's normal, like this thing is hefty when it comes to the power consumption, so I'm thinking about doing a... Oh, this thing is not yet connected, that's fine, Connected. Oh, wait, that's terrible. Oof, for a moment, I was kinda wondering what the hell was going on. In any case, like I said, the forge is kinda hefty on the power requirements, and I kinda want to run it a little bit longer than just a few seconds. So for now, I'm just going to put 1 battery controlling this entire thing, and we are only going to run this side. I have cut the pipe right there, so only this should work. Now, the idea of having this many is to have a phased out power production, so we don't have all of them running at the same time, but right now we don't really have the materials to do that, so what we are going to do is just one of these. Smart battery using copper, please don't use my steel, okay? In this moment of the game I get extremely paranoid about my steel because my dupes always find a way to use it somehow. Like the freaking lead, I don't know where the hell the lead is, but it's somewhere. These dupes, they really like to annoy us. In any case, that's neither here or there. As long as I am careful while building things, I should not use the steel. Now, let's go like this. No. Temporary, so let's not think too much. Let's connect these things. 1 battery is going to rule them all, and well, that is going to mean that they are going to be active for like 2 seconds, and then all the batteries are going to be filled up. But because we don't have a lot of storage when it comes to energy, they are going to be constantly on off, and you know, that is not exactly great when it comes to the heat production, but oh well, it is what it is. Let's not think too much, let's just get this done. Okay, so the automation is done. Let's double check our pipage. Let's connect the exhaust. Like I said, 1 storage plus a vent, so it, you know, it will eventually vent a few puffs of carbon dioxide. So yeah, time to connect this. Once this thing gets full, we just deconstruct it, which is going to expel the carbon dioxide into the environment, and then we reconstruct it. It should not get full anytime soon, so we shouldn't concern ourselves too much. But yeah, I'm going to set up this battery at 30% low threshold and 100% high threshold. In fact, let's go to 95, which means this is going to be the first power plant to run, and then it should be this one at 25%, and then this one at 20%. Okay, but now that we finally have the power, we can run this non-stop. Let's just go and make a bunch of steel. In fact, I'm just going to say, you know what, make me 40 units of steel, which is going to require probably 30 units of iron, but I truly could not care less. We have a bunch of cold environment to absorb all of that heat, a bunch of cold coolant to make it work, and a bunch of materials, so we are completely good on that regard. Now we are just missing the plastic. Hopefully the Dracos will cooperate with us. Alright, let's just observe this thing running. As we can see, it fills up the battery pretty quick. But like I said, we don't really have a lot of storage, so the batteries get drained pretty fast as well, which means this thing is constantly on off, on off, on off. And as we can see as well, the temperature is starting to increase rather rapidly. As far as I know, the temperature of the water that is expelled by the natural gas generators is equal to the temperature of the generator all the way up to, I don't know, 75, 80 degrees, because, you know, you can make natural gas generators out of any material like thermium and run them pretty hot if you wish, but the water has like a maximum temperature that it comes out. But yeah, it will come out pretty toasty. 75 or 80 degrees, that's way too much for us to handle at this moment. Alright, so Gene over here, because he is a mechatronic, he can do engineer's tune-up. And as we can see, it's kind of disabled, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see it over here. This thing now is producing 400 watts of extra power, simply because it has the engineer's tune-up. This is the advantage of creating a power plant. You know, you get more bang for your buck. Now, you need to keep in mind that that thing, the NG's tune-up, it's not going to last forever. I believe it's 3 days. So every 3 days your mechatronics need to come over here and replace the ship. But you know, if the mechatronics is very skilled, you can do that relatively quickly. Especially, you know, once we start getting like 3 and 4 mechatronics. Yeah, it's not going to be too much of an issue, but it is a time-consuming process, so yeah, we need to take all of those factors into consideration, but to be honest, this is a time well spent from my mechatronics, because there is nothing else that needs to be built, so yeah. Gene, tune up all of our power thingies, please. However, my friends, this extra boost in power does not come without a cost. First, you have the time of your mechatronics, and then each microchip costs roughly, I believe it is 15 kilograms of refined materials. So, in a way, you are spending refined materials to get a tad bit extra power. In my opinion, is always worth it. But yeah, it's not totally free, you know, but and then you have the unfortunate thingy that your mechatronics do not distinguish between operational generators that are operational and those that are not. So the best way of you to avoid, you know, your mechatronics wasting your time and resources, just doing this priority 1, which means he is always going to prioritize these ones over here, and then we'll also pick up a microchip and bring it over here, tuning up the coal generators and the hydrogen generator. They don't necessarily need to be inside of a power plant to be tuned up, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure on that. But still, I always like to build power plants because they look nice, okay? And why not go for a little bit of looks from time to time? So, my friends, just to put this into perspective, this small power plant over here, if fully upgraded and running at full time, is capable of producing 12 kilowatts of power. However, if it is not tuned up, it's only going to produce 8 kilowatts of power. It's quite a difference, right? So, once again, I would like to make the case that this is, in most cases, always worth it. Well, my friends, now I have to play the waiting game. The plastic is the roadblock right now. This Reco, I believe it's this one, the older one, H100 of 50E. This one already has a 50% chance of getting a glossy Reco, however, he is not being too cooperative. The last hag that he pooped was a regular one, so I think, like, it's one of those things, right? In the previous episode, the game pretty much gave us everything that we wanted, so now it's playing a little bit hard to get. I can't blame it. So yeah, we just play the waiting game a little bit. Eventually we are going to get it. So I think I'm just going to engage in some biome deletion for our future industrial area. We are going to need all of this space, so why not get our hands dirty and start deleting all of this. Draco pooped another regular egg. We can see it over there. I can select it, but I can see it. Oh boy. It's like I said, it wasn't, it was this one over here. Yeah. Just a regular egg, but the chances were low anyway, but still. A tad bit frustrating to get past this part. After you get the first one, it's no longer a problem. But getting that first one tends to be... Hey, why ain't you doing your job? Come on, please give me a glossy Draco. Pretty please. You have 53% chance of getting one, please. Be a beautiful Draco and give me what I want. No! Why? Why do you do me like this? Ah. This and the worst part is, this was probably the last egg this one is ever going to lay, because he's getting into the senior age pretty soon. What about you? When you poop your next egg? In a little while. Okay. That's fine. That is going to give you some more time to raise that percentage up, I suppose. Well, we can't always have what we want, right guys? I suppose we are going to end the episode on a sad note, given that we failed to produce the plastic that we wanted. Now, I'm going to deconstruct all of our mealwood on the inside, because look at the amount of food that we have. Our ranches are starting to kick in, so we most of the time have barbecue for everybody, and if we are missing a piece of barbecue here and there, we'll have a bunch of Linz loaf waiting and ready. Besides, we are still producing a minuscule amount of mealwood over here, although I don't understand why the autosweeper is not fertilizing the plants. It is its job after all, that's why you are here. Well, my friends, we might not get the plastic, but at least we'll have a nice consolation prize. It is time to start distributing a bunch of snazziness around our dupes. Why wait for the game to give us the snazzy suits when we have the capacity to build them ourselves? We have a bunch of reed fibers laying around, so let's just get a bunch of those beautiful suits going. Okay, so now I don't need to remember who came next, right? I just give them all a snazzy suit and I'll be done with it. I'm going to make one extra from what I need, you know, for future dupes, that we will always have a snazzy suit ready for them. But yeah, my friends, this is going to conclude this episode. We are almost in cycle 200. I think we made quite the good progress. We got our power situation rolling, and we got the Dracos over here also rolling. Unfortunately, they are not feeling super cooperative. Maybe we'll get luckier on the next episode. Who knows, right? Oxygen not included is always a mystery. So, suppose we'll have to wait and see. Also, my friends, if you are wondering why the schedule has been a little bit all over the place, I am going to just make a small video explaining all of it. I don't want to bore you in this particular video with the details. Let's just say that real life has played a part in it. But oh well, my friends, with all of that said, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, I'm sorry, I just lost myself completely. Well, if you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye.